sat. We sat those guys. And guess what? They were some of the best quarterbacks in the game.
Yes, but why? Like, I just don't understand. I don't understand why you would feel like you can't do the thing. Sorry, something just popped up here on my screen right here.
Yeah.
Why would you feel like you can't start a guy? It just doesn't make sense. Mac Jones is the better option at that position.
Whoa.
I've had this argument the last 2 days. If you don't think Mac Jones is a better option right now for that offense, Buck, we talked about this last night. That offense for the last 20 years has been built off of a pocket passing quarterback.
Okay,
that is what Mac Jones is, and that is not what Cam Newton is.
So
they did not go and sign those guys like Hunter Henry, Jonnu, and the other guy for Cam Newton to sit back and run the ball. They didn't do that. And Cam Newton is not a passing quarterback anymore in this league.
So, Combs, let's flash back to 2020 NFL season. You and me sat right here on the Man Hour for first 4 or 5 weeks of the season before Cam Newton got your disease here, and we were talking about MVP caliber Cam, right? He was looking great.
It was before the league caught up to him.
Well, no, it was the Cam Newton was looking like an MVP caliber Cam Newton until he had to sit out those 14 days, and then when you set out for 2 weeks and you get and then a bye week happens, you develop some rust. Tori, speak some knowledge into here, Combs.
Yeah, so he was last season. He played phenomenal. Whatever happened when he came back, all of a sudden he couldn't throw a 5-yard out. So he got taken out of his groove when he got the Rona.
He still can't throw a 5-yard out. Did you watch him on Saturday? Sunday?
I did not. I was stuck in the land of Oz. I was lucky.
He looked bad. And not only that, but now you're in New England, who you're already out as their guy. You are no longer their guy. So every mistake you make now is just magnified. So he's going to go in, if he's the starter week 1, he's going to go in there, he's going to turn the ball over, the entire stadium's going to pelt him with snowballs, and they're going to have to go ahead and bring in Mac Jones. Like, it just makes no sense to not. Mac Jones is the better option for the New England Patriots to start week 1.
Cam Newton being on the hot seat is not a secret, though. Everybody knows that's not a secret.
I know it's not a secret. Cam Newton being the stopgap in New England is not a secret. But you know what? That gap is already stopped. Mac Jones is a better option starting right now. Justin Fields in Chicago is a better option starting right now. Zach Wilson is the best option that they have in New York.
He's the only option.
There's no way.
He's the only option in New York.
Yeah,
there's no way that Trevor Lawrence isn't starting for Jacksonville, and they've got a starter. They've got their guy. If you look at the numbers, and I looked at the numbers the other day, cool, because I heard this on some sports talk show, that Baker Mayfield is Gardner Minshew. Look at the numbers. The numbers over the last 3 years, Gardner Minshew and Baker Mayfield are exactly just about the same.
Except Minshew's only been in the league 2 years.
They're exactly the same. Baker Mayfield and Gardner Minshew's numbers. Look them up.
Maybe the numbers. Okay, so Combs, we have been on the Man Hour
completion percentage
over a year now, and numbers lie. Numbers lie to you, and these numbers for Gardner Minshew and Baker Mayfield are straight up lying to you, and you know
well,
that.
I don't know about that because Baker Mayfield's playing on a much better team than Gardner Minshew has been playing on.
But Gardner Minshew is also playing on a team that was behind by 35 points every single week.
But he's still producing the numbers. What are you talking about?
It's Dak Prescott.
That makes those numbers even better.
You're saying I would say Dak Prescott and Gardner Minshew are more on the same level than Baker Mayfield and him.
Yeah, I agree with that. Tori, you nailed it right on the head. Just because Combs,
he nailed it right on the head. You guys are drunk. Are you guys drunk?
Yeah, but that is besides the point.
I plead the fifth.
But when you are consistently playing behind 35 points plus, the defense playing soft coverage defense. They're just not letting the ball get over their head when it comes down to in the end. I mean, that's why Dak Prescott had 500 yards in those 3 or 4 games, right? Because it was a prevent defense that was played not to lose, and that's exactly what they did. They played not to lose, Combs. I mean, you can shake your head all you want, but you as a Bears fan, you should know this. When you play from behind, your stats look better because you can nickel and dime down the field.
He's got nothing on that.
I don't know what to say to you guys anyway.
Yeah,
you guys
it's
are
because you know
out
we're
of
right.
your mind. No, you're not.
You know we're right. It's simple as that.
No, you're actually not.
Okay. But guys, we are up against our first break here, so hopefully this break works here. So if I can push this button correctly, guys, we'll be right back here on the Man
The
Hour.
red button. Don't push the red button.
Don't push the red button. We'll be right back, guys, here on the Man Hour. Stay tuned. All right, can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. There we go. All right, so it should be playing the break right now. We can
Sounds like it.
So I think I have figured this out. So we can do the behind-the-scenes footage now while this is still playing. So, yeah, we should be good, I think, man. Shit, I don't know.
Well, yeah, because right now, if you look at the website or on YouTube, like it's got us three in the middle, it's got the chat on the right,
Yeah.
and then it's got the Man Hour Radio stuff on the left.
Except for the chat box isn't working for some reason. That's kind of weird. Let's see if I can't fix it real quick.
I'm sorry, did you get to upload that clip that, oh crap, I gotta get a hold of Wayne. Because that one clip he sent me is a movie file versus an MP4.
Wait, so they can
it wouldn't
still
let me
see
open
us on the YouTube page?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're right in the
Oh.
middle. Do you not like that? I mean, we can change it.
No, it's fine with me. I mean,
Yeah.
Can they hear us or no?
No, they can only hear us if they're going to be behind the scenes footage. So if they're like a 99 member. So,
Gotcha.
Have we gained any new
So,
999 members besides
Why did
us
we get
three?
all these exclamation points?
what do you mean? Over on StreamYard?
Yeah.
Because if you because you cannot start a Facebook live 10 minutes after the show starts. So since it's like 20 minutes after,
Yeah, but see, like, oh yeah, I suppose, yeah, it's all the Facebook ones. Never mind.
yeah. Now YouTube and Twitter has nothing, but we are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube on this. So
Okay.
yeah, but yeah,
Huh.
I mean,
I just don't like this because I don't know when we're back from break.
Music comes up.
yeah, I'll play the music. You can hear that, right?
Yeah, that I can hear. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the cue to come back to break. So coming up, we got more spurts. So Combs, when we come back from break, I'll welcome people back, and I'll kick it to you to talk about Trevor Bauer, like give the background and all that stuff.
Okay.
Does that work?
Sure. I don't know.
When's
much about it.
When's Fat Little Buddy leave?
Thursday. We got 8 seconds, boys. So just FYI. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckhouse and Brandon Combs and the Tori Anderson tonight. I about said D. Wyatt Williams, but it is not D. Wyatt Williams. It's Mr. Tori Anderson tonight. You can find us all at manhour_Buck, manhour_Combs, and of course manhour_Tori on the old Twitter machine. But we got to get into some major sports talk here. So Combs, take it away, big guy.
All right, so we're going to hit up some baseball talk. We want to talk a little bit about Trevor Bauer. Trevor Bauer has been extended his administrative leave again. They've extended this time to August 20th. They are still trying to figure out what is going on with all the things that he's dealing with. You know, I don't know if anybody knows, but he's been accused of sexually assaulting a couple of women now, and I guess there may be a third woman that has come forward or something like that. So I just don't understand why they continue to extend his administrative leave instead of either just saying, hey, you're done for the season, or hey, you're good to go. Just continue pitching. Because, I mean, right now, and I'll be and I'm not victim blaming, victim shaming, anything like that. Right now, it's a case of he said, she said. Trevor Bauer has maintained from the beginning that this is all consensual stuff. Some people like to get choked out during sex.
Yep, we talked about that.
It's just a thing.
Like
And
fuck.
Tori.
and so, oh god,
We
and
choke
so
each other out apparently.
I don't. Whoa, I don't ever do that again, Buck.
My bad.
Windmill?
I don't ever. I just don't understand. It comes to a point in an athlete's career where, one, you put yourself in a position to get into this situation.
Ben
So-
Roethlisberger.
But at the same time, like, we have to take into account too that these women could just be after money. You've got to
So-
take that into account. Same thing we did with the Deshaun Watson case, right? There's
Yep.
like 20 women, right? But all of it's civil. None of them want to take. There's no legal action going. It's all civil.
Wrong. There is now 3 that are criminal sexual assaults against him.
Three of the 20, right?
Three
Which
of
is
the-
absolutely
Okay.
drink. Yeah.
So when it started, it was all civil. Okay,
Right.
Everything was civil. They're talking about money, blah blah blah. One of the girls, I guess, has been through this before with a different athlete. So every once in a while, these things happen. Sometimes they come after these guys because they see the dollar signs. I'm not sure that that's the case here, but I also know that Trevor Bauer is one of those guys who I feel, if this was the case and the truth, you would almost have a feeling about it. Like when a guy like who was it? Let's throw a name out there. Like what's his name? Aroldis Chapman. The thing with Aroldis Chapman happened. You could kind of see it, right? Like you could kind of see Aroldis Chapman just looks like that guy that would. Yeah, I could see that happening. And then he admitted to it, and that was that. A lot of these athletes, when it happened, will admit their mistakes. They'll admit they were wrong. They'll do the things that they got to do. That's not the case here with Trevor Bauer. He is maintaining, and I mean hard, maintaining that this was consensual. This was all done in the act of what they were doing. As a matter of fact, I guess it went so far as to one of the girls had to sign a contract regarding it. So I don't understand what baseball's doing with continuing to extend his leave instead of just making a decision. Make a decision.
Well,
Either you
here's the problem, Combs. Is that more people are coming out now. There has been for sure a second woman has now come out and said that he smacked her around and choked her, and it wasn't consensual. Now, on the flip side of that, Trevor Bauer, I was on his Twitter earlier today, actually, and he has like 25 pages of text messages of this girl just being flat out crazy. He's like, "Oh baby, I love you. Oh baby, I need you. Choke me again, daddy." And then so this was happening back in Cleveland, and then this girl followed him to LA, right? So clearly this girl is kind of batshit crazy, right? Let's just be flat out honest about it.
And then what happened, right? He told her no one night, or what?
Yeah.
Like what was the straw that broke the camel's back? Where she was like,
He said,
no, this is
he basically said, "I am done. Like I don't want I
I
moved
thought
away
Buck
from
broke
you."
into my profile for a second there.
Oh my god.
But with all
doesn't even know what
with
to
all
say.
that being said, I mean, well, and then like this was like after he said no, we are done. I don't want to do this anymore. She says, "Hey, give me $3 million to keep quiet, or I'm going to take this."
So if that's the case, and Major League Baseball looks at it, use common sense. Hey, this
Come
is
on,
just something.
we live in the world
let
that
the guy
that
play.
common sense. You know that common sense lacks.
He's clearly going to have to pay these girls more money, so he clearly needs to make more money.
Innocent, and then you're still guilty.
But that's what
Say
I'm
that again,
saying.
Cole.
But he's still.
No, I said we now live in a world though, and it's been that way for the last 30 years. You are guilty until proven innocent, then you are still looked at as guilty.
Exactly.
And that is the way that society has come. Even if it's without a doubt that you were proven innocent, they're like, well, like, it would be like somebody that gets accused of touching a child, and it's completely like, oh no, the person lied, it was completely false. Da da da. Somebody's going to look at that person still for the rest of their life. Go, well, maybe they have a creepy mustache. Like, that's my biggest issue with it all. Is even if it's all found guilt or found that he is 100% in the clear, people are still going to look at him for about the next. Well, for him being an athlete, we all know that cycle will disappear. I mean, look at Marv Albert. So 2 years later, bam, nobody's going to remember that.
See, and I think people are going to remember this for a long time to come, just because he has maintained his innocence for so long that more people are starting to come out about the situation. So I feel like this could travel with him well and past his career.
Did he request a trade out of Houston?
No, but come on, sheesh.
Because I still ever since Deshaun showed up, guess what? That's all quieted down.
Right.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Jack Easterby is behind this somewhere.
Easterly, whatever his name is. I would not be surprised. It's like you said, Tori. It's just the way the world works right now. As soon as you get what you want, all of a sudden the birds stop chirping.
Yeah.
I mean, and there are all sorts of things where we could look at that are going on in the world today, where as soon as they got what they wanted, the birds stopped chirping, and this seems to be one of those. If Trevor Bauer settles with these women, the birds probably stop chirping.
So let me ask you this. I mean, because like Combs, I'm going to kick it to you first here. Let's say Trevor Bauer has maintained his innocence the whole time, and then all of a sudden he slides $2 million here, $3 million here. Does that portray him to be as guilty and like a liar?
No, I think it portrays him. Well, it depends on how you look at it. For me, it portrays him as somebody who was just like, you know what? I'm just going to pay this money because I just need this to go away so I can get back to doing what I want to do and live my life. And sometimes that's worth it. I mean, it just is. I've been, on that side of things where sometimes you've got to make a decision. Man, do I look guilty, or do I just do this and move on with my life? And sometimes it's just easier just to pay it and move on with your life.
So, Tori, let me ask you the same question. Let's say he has maintained innocence and he's finally slid this girl some hush money. I want to move on. Is he guilty in your eyes?
In my eyes, and probably in most of the general public eyes, yes. That's an admission of guilt. You're like, you know what? Okay, because you're now paying a reparation to them, saying, okay, there was some wrongdoing.
Yeah,
that's my biggest issue with it all. And but I agree with Brandon. It could be just to make it go away, and I 100% can see that. But in the public eye, he is going to be chastised like he did something wrong because he still paid those women off. Like that is 100% the way.
Yeah, but you know what? Trevor Bauer doesn't strike me as the type of guy that really gives a shit what people think.
Well, right. Have you ever watched it? Have you looked at his Twitter? I mean, exactly. He really doesn't. And that's the thing, though. Something like that would not bother him. A lot of people it might. Like, look at Kobe. Like when the stuff happened in Colorado, like that affected him and affected his marriage and everything else. And then all of a sudden that, slid her some money and that went away.
And bought his wife a big fat ring, right?
Right.
Huge ring.
She's gonna be able to buy another one after she gets done suing the helicopter company.
Right. So speaking of like rings, though, I mean Alabama, they are voted preseason number one for the fourth time in the last 6 seasons. All 4 times they have been voted number one preseason. They have gone to the playoffs and they have won the championship 2 out of those 4 times, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 3 out of 4 times. My facts are not quite stable there. So Combs, let me kick it to you first here. Alabama ranked number 1, like always. It seems like are they the favorite to win the national championship again this year?
I mean, aren't they always the favorite to win the national championship?
No, you got Clemson and Ohio State and.
Yeah, but I mean, what's
State?
Ohio State? How good is Ohio State going to be this year without Justin Fields? Like, who's the new quarterback? I don't know much about their new quarterback and how good he's going to play. You look at. I don't know. I mean, in college football, Clemson. How good is Clemson going to be without Trevor Lawrence? These guys are, Alabama seems to be the one team that you don't worry about who's replacing their guys that went to the NFL the next year. Yeah. Every year. So it doesn't surprise me that they're the number 1 team. I have not looked deep enough into college football yet this season. I usually don't until the season starts, and then I start getting into it. just because I'm usually into baseball more. But I just, once the season starts, I'll look into it more and see, hey, who's this team, who's that team,
Right.
and I'll start watching, and I'll be able to make up my mind. Hey, this team is the real deal. This team is not. And Alabama right now. Sure, you can be in any sport. You could be the favorite week 1. Cool. Be the favorite week 14, week 15. Like those are the times where you need to be the favorite. And if you're the favorite, then you're worth it.
Yeah.
Anybody
and
can be a preseason favorite.
And the good thing about Alabama is they can literally be 8-8. Granted they don't play 16 games, but they can be 8-8 and still be in the top 5 in the coaches poll and like AP poll, just because that's how they are. Tori, are they the favorite to win the national championship?
There again, as much as I hate Alabama, they are every year. They are one of about 3 teams in NCAA football that can just literally restock every year. Mm-hmm. Them, you have Ohio State, and you have Clemson. Those are the 3 teams that every year are going to be in that consideration because all they do is restock, reload every single year. You have 5-star kids that will say, I'm going to, Ohio State. Quinn Ewers being one, and he knows he's not gonna start for at least two or 3 years. Most 5-star kids want to go and they want to get playing time. But if you're going to an Ohio State, if you're going to a Clemson, or you are going to an Alabama, you don't mind sitting and learning the system because guess what? You're probably going to a national title game. For sure you're probably going to the playoff.
Right.
Other teams, it takes, you have your second level teams then behind them, like your Oklahomas and your Georgias that are powerhouse teams, but still need like a year to rebuild and restock. They recruit at an elite level, but they can't do the things that Alabama does. That's why Alabama every single year, I don't care where they're ranked, but they're always going to be top 5. They are always a threat to not only make the playoff, they are a threat to win that playoff every single year.
Yeah, so we bring up a comment here. Drew says ranking is based off the track record, nothing else. I agree with that to an extent, but Combs, do you agree with that? Like the college football preseason rankings are strictly just off what you've done in the past?
I mean, most of it's voted by the coaches, so I don't know. I kind of feel that way. I kind of feel like you come into the season, you look at last year's playoffs, you look at last year's rankings, you look at who lost what, who's returning what starters, what their new starters are projected to be, and you make a quick assumption. All right, cool. These guys are returning all their starters from last year minus 1. Well, how's the new guy? Oh, he's pretty good too. Okay,
right. That's great.
They're the favorite, and I just I don't feel like Alabama is going to fall off of that anytime soon. I think they're going to continue to be that team for the foreseeable future.
Tori, what are your thoughts on that?
I think I will agree. It's partially both. Especially the coaches poll, who your top 5 are going to be. You could probably name it every single year in no particular order. It's going to be the same suspects every single year. You get beyond that, though, then it's going to be what did you do last year? How did your team look? How did they progress? Anything beyond that? Beyond that, it's a crapshoot. Your top 5 every year is probably going to include Bama. It's going to include Ohio State. It's going to include Oklahoma. It's going to include Clemson. It's going to include either a Georgia or maybe a Notre Dame or somebody like that. It's going to give you one of those elite programs, usually in that top 5. It's like I said, any given year, you can name out those top 4 programs that I named will probably be in there. That 5th, you can interchange between about 5 or 6 teams.
Yeah, so and then just to add to you guys' point there, so when we look at NFL, guys, all of us sat here and we picked games for the NFL. The Jets are going to be 2-15, right, and the Cowboys are going to go 10-7, right? Like we sat here and we basically picked exactly what the college football preseason does, but for the NFL, but like we don't get criticized as much as like the preseason polls. Like, why do you think that is, Combs?
To be honest with you, I don't have a good answer for that one. I'll be completely honest with you. I have no clue what changes, from 1 week to the next. I have no clue, what they look at preseason, especially with college sports. Because I don't know how you can tell. People will tell you can't tell whether or not a guy's college game is going to translate into a pro game. I think it's even harder to tell whether or not a guy's high school game is going to translate into a college game. I mean, you're playing at a much different talent level at any high school that you go to than you are at a Division I college.
100% correct.
So I don't understand what they look at, how they determine it without seeing these guys on the field. Maybe they have, little college days instead of pro days, and they watch these guys throw around the football in shorts, and they decide that they're good. But I don't know. I can't answer that question for you.
Tori, any thoughts on that?
So for me, it's a little bit more clear cut when it comes to that, because there are so many moving parts when it comes to the ranking system in college football. And some of it is so freaking dumb, it's not even funny. So say my Wisconsin Badgers go out and play Hofstra, and they're favored by 38 points, but they only beat them by 30. They're going to get hurt in the rankings. Yep. Where in Alabama could do that exact same thing, and they're going to be like, well, Bama played their third string, for the fourth quarter. Yeah, that's okay. Even though they wouldn't have covered the spread might have been like 40-something. It affects different programs differently, it's a complete double standard when it comes to voting in college football, if you ask me. So, like, if you have a team that's consistently a top 25 team, like the Badgers, and they beat Hofstra 30-0, they shut them out. They're gonna be like, well, they were favored by 38. They might drop from they're ranked 12th in the coaches poll. They might drop them to 13th or 14th because they didn't cover the spread. Whereas, like in Alabama,
do you think gambling in college should be outlawed? Gambling on college?
Absolutely not. I want to make money.
But that's what I'm asking you, because if it's affecting the way that these kids are ranked and the way that their teams are looked at, and they get pushed back or pushed out, maybe even out of a college playoff appearance, just because of whatever the odds might be, or whatever they didn't cover this spread or cover that spread. Should that be a thing?
No, because I think that's what makes college football unique in that way too. Because you also have those teams that go the opposite way, where they go above and beyond. Like the year Boise State made a really big push when they first kind of came on, and they beat Oklahoma in what was it, the Fiesta Bowl, and but they outdid everybody's expectations that year, and that's what sets college football apart in my eyes from anything else. Is because you do have Cinderella stories just like you do in college basketball, except for me it's on a much larger scale, because they've done it over the course of a season. Like week 1, you didn't hear of these people. By week 3, you're hearing rumblings. By the end of your season, like these guys belong in a New Year's one of the New Year's 6 bowls.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so we are up against the next break here. So, guys, we're going to take a quick little break here on the Man Hour. On the other side of the break, we are going to open it up with a new segment called Cooking with Tori. Tori, you want to tell them what the new segment is all about?
So, what we got coming up after the break here is I've got a new little segment of What's Cooking with Tori. We're going to talk about what's cooking in the sports world, and basically you guys are going to have to sit and kind of listen to me rant a little bit. So, I kind of enjoy this. I get to talk.
Yeah, you get the.
Can I take the segment off?
School, you can do what you want, but just don't remove yourself from the screen, because if you mess up my old collage I got going on here, I'll have to kick you in the throat.
I'm gonna call your bluff.
All right, call my bluff, lads. All right, guys, we'll be right back here on the Man Hour. Sit back and relax, rejoin. We'll take a quick little break.
Should have said.
What?
Should have said it. You should have said it. I'll give him the Rona.
Give him the Rona.
I'll lick your palm.
Oh. Tori, I think we should have. I should have imported your input or your little video that you made, and I forgot all about that. Why don't you email me that so I can add some music to it and stuff.
All right.
Like not now, but like at some point.
Well, I still got to download it off Messenger though.
Oh, okay. Well, then I can.
That's why I sent it to Messenger.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I can download it from Messenger. I'm not for sure.
You should be able to.
I can try after the show. I mean, it's no big deal. And I wish this chat would work tonight. I don't know when. I don't know what's going on. Don't know what's going on. So do you like being able to talk, during the breaks and whatnot?
I do.
Okay. There we
Until
go.
I start singing.
What?
Until I start singing.
I think it's so much better when we could talk in between the breaks.
Yeah.
I think it gives the listeners a different aspect too,
Well, that and it helps us too, because we can, if there's something else we want to like flip the script on and go to something else, it gives us a chance to talk about it. Buck, I still never saw what you were talking about with that guy. You said, Tori, that guy responded to you on Twitter, asked if you wanted to be on the show. I never saw that.
Or I have to like screenshot it or something. I don't know.
Quick Trip retweeted me today though, so that was pretty cool.
What did you tweet at them?
When I was in Kansas, because they have the Quick Trip with the queue there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, help! I'm stuck in a different universe. Please send help. And they're like, have you tried putting it in rice? And
I saw you tweeted at Matt Flynn too about coming on the show.
I did. Went right at him. Jermichael Finley. I went after Jermichael Finley too.
You should have said we promise not to substitute you with Russell Wilson.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckkosh along with Tori Anderson tonight and Mr. Brandon BC Combs. You can find us all on Twitter at manhour_Buck, at manhour_Tori, and of course manhour_C. Or you can follow the actual show itself at manhour_radio_ manhour_hour_radio, because Combs is like underscore happy with that one apparently. But before we get into cooking,
manhour_radio was taken.
Well, it was taken by you and you forgot the password, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just call it a spade, right?
Right.
Thanks for calling me out. Cool.
Just call it out right there.
So before we get into cooking with Tori tonight, Tori, tell the people about yours and Wyatt's little fantasy segment you guys got going on each and every Wednesday.
So me and Little Buddy got a little fantasy football segment that we like to record on a weekly basis, and it's basically bringing you your fantasy advice, letting you know how to win your league. If you listen to me, you win your league. If you listen to Wyatt, you're going to finish in second place in your league. So I was just reading an article today, speaking of which, Wyatt, about DeAndre Swift, about how he's more bust than boom. So Wyatt was pretty proud of that draft pick. And I'm like, I was reading the article, I'm like, could happen. So either way, tune in weekly to Wyatt and I bringing you fantasy advice. We've been a little, well, Wyatt was a little under the weather. I was gone. So it's been a little bit. We're going to try to get that segment done this week. And
hopefully you're better at fantasy football than fantasy baseball.
I mean, because I actually pay attention to fantasy football.
Yeah. Baseball is, I still don't understand baseball. Let's just be honest. I don't understand.
I really don't either.
I don't understand it.
All I know is I picked up Mike Trout because he was still out there.
It's a smart person's sport. You wouldn't understand.
Yeah, very true. I mean, but nonetheless, it is time to get cooking with Tori. So, Tori, last night we did coming out with like Combs, and I come up with a nice little jingle. So, I'm thinking that tonight we do a little bit of cooking with Tori.
Oh my god!
Bam.
That I don't even know what to say to that. That was not
You did that
good.
to me 3 times last night. We're coming out with Combs. It was, yeah.
That I really don't. I don't know what to say to it. That is. I'm like, oh, I just hear like the pick is in my head. That's all I hear.
Cooking with Tori. Cooking with Tori.
I feel like that should be like the Diet Dr. Pepper commercial, like the little tiny guy, like
The little tiny guy.
We will definitely come up with some cool jingles for you guys' segments coming up. All right, Cooking with Tori, solo mode, go.
Solo mode, cooking with Tori. Here we go. We're going to talk about what is cooking in the sports world, and let's drive Combs nuts right off the bat.
Yes.
The Milwaukee Brewers. Right now, tied for the second best record in the National League, have three candidates, three in the top 5 predicted for the NL Cy Young this year. Woodruff at 2, Corbin Burns at 4, and Freddie Peralta at 5. This is an offense that is simply anemic to start the year. Willy Adames has helped that offense a ton since he came over from Tampa Bay. This is a team now that was, I believe their run differential was negative when Willy Adames arrived, and they are now plus 67 in that. And when you have a pitching staff in a bullpen like that, come October, I'm actually going to have to put a little stock in my Milwaukee Brewers. Like normally I'm like, yay, we made the postseason. That's about it. We ain't going any further. I might get a little happy about it this year. Like giving the way that the pitching works in October, the Brewers are actually set up. I feel like a Cubs fan, honestly. Like my hopes are up and they're just going to get dashed. Something awful will happen. Like I know it. The thing is I realize the Brewers will never win a title in my life. I get that. It's just not meant to be. Of course, I said the same thing about the Milwaukee Bucks. And that happened. So I swear to God, if the Brewers were to come out and win a World Series, you guys would never hear the end of how great Wisconsin is from me ever again.
Now we're only waiting for a Packers championship, right?
I mean, we already got, 4 of those. So
yeah, only 4.
There is no
13.
way
13 overall
on this earth that the Milwaukee Brewers are winning the National League this year.
All right, so let's dig deeper into that, what you just said there, Mr. Combs.
Okay.
You and Mr. Hoffey laughed at me, and we could bring this
still
clip
laugh
up.
at you.
We can bring this clip up on a
lot.
later date. When I said the Milwaukee Brewers will win 97 games this year,
I'm still laughing
I said
at
that
you. And they're at 72 already. I'm still laughing at you.
their prediction at this point right now is 97 and a half.
So, Combs, 1 second here. Didn't you say the biggest downfall for the Brewers this year was their pitching?
No, I said it was their hitting.
I
Wrong.
thought you said pitching. I'm pretty sure you said pitching.
I'm pretty sure he said pitching too.
Oh, yeah,
and
I did say pitching. I did say pitching was there.
because I told him, I said, no, it's going to be the offense. The offense
Yeah.
is going to be the sore spot.
Offense has been
I mean,
pretty anemic, yeah.
If you asked anybody other than Tori, because, Tori's a Brewers fan and he talks with his jock,
I don't know. If you look at the standings, I kind of was talking pretty much truth.
Nobody thought that the Brewers were going to be what they are in that pitching staff. Nobody did, other than Tori. Tori was the only one who thought that they were going to be what they are pitching-wise. And they've turned it around offensively. Now, all of a sudden, they're scoring runs at a premium. They're taking a full advantage of playing in the weakest division in the league.
That's a fact right there.
They're winning a lot of ball games right now. And I can only hope, I can only pray to baby Jesus that the Cincinnati Reds somehow find a way to come back from 7 games down to win this division so that Tori has to get a Reds tattoo.
Yeah, I would love that.
It's 7.5 games. Don't forget that half is important.
It is.
It's like I'm not 6 foot. I'm 6 foot and a quarter inch.
Or in Combs' case, I'm not 5'6". I'm 5'6.5".
You know what's even worse is that the Cubs at the beginning of July were in first place, and right now on August 17th they're 21 games back. That is hard to do.
They were not in first place. The Brewers were in first place.
They
at the start
were.
of July because they were 3. No, the Brewers were 3 games up going into that series against the Cubs, which started at the end of June, and the Brewers swept them.
Okay, so just towards the beginning of July.
Yes, yeah, I think it was like a week before that they were.
Yeah,
they
they
pulled
were
the
in
Mets.
first place. I mean, it's still really hard to do. I mean, to go from at some point in the season to being, I think at one point they had a 4 or 5 game lead on the Brewers, and then they lost.
The Brewers went through their slide.
Yeah, and now all of a sudden they're 21 games back. 2 losing streaks of 11 or more games in that time frame.
That's tough.
It's hard, man. It's hard to watch. I'm finding myself now being more excited to watch White Sox games than Cubs games because they're just more fun to watch.
But those divisions, both of those, the Brewers pretty much have the Central sewn up, and the White Sox pretty much already have the AL Central sewn up.
I
those
think
are
the White
two
Sox
boring
are going to be
divisions.
I think the White Sox might be the best team in the American League.
Oh.
When you get into October, if they have a lead after the 6th inning, I mean, they've got the most lockdown bullpen in the league for sure. I mean, bar none. You can't tell me, Tori, that you would be more confident in Milwaukee's 7th, 8th, and 9th inning than you would be in the White Sox 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. There's no way. I like
would just
Hader
because the Brewers are doing it without Hader right now.
But Williams has shown a tendency to give up runs and get hit hard.
Devin's had a down year.
He's done that all year long. The White Sox though, they've got Leon Hendricks, they've got Kimbrel. I mean, they've got 2 of the top 5 closers in the league.
and one's a setup guy.
Yes. It's ridiculous. I'm telling you, watch out for the White Sox in the American League. They might surprise some people and actually end up in the World Series this year.
All right, guys. So let me jump into this comment here real quick. Drew says, "Didn't the Cubs get bumped down to the Pee Wee League?"
No, you know what, Tori? You missed it last night, but I said, isn't it ironic that the White Sox went to Iowa and won a Major League Baseball game, the first Major League Baseball team to win in Iowa. The Cubs brought their team from Iowa to Chicago and can't win a Major League game because they're playing with their AAA Iowa team.
They really are, with the exception of Contreras.
Yeah, and Hendricks and Contreras has been on the IL.
Yeah.
All right, Tori, is there anything else cooking in your kitchen tonight?
You know what? I think we're going to let it simmer. See what I did there? We're going to let it simmer. We're going to let that marinate and let Combs bask in the glory that is the Milwaukee Brewers.
God, I can't wait to watch the Dodgers wipe them out in the first round of the playoffs.
So crazy? No, look, Tori, how fanatic would you be if the Bucks won their series, or they obviously won, the Brewers win, and then the Packers win? How fanatic would you be?
You guys would kick me off the show. You would kick me off the show because you would never hear the end of it.
If that happens, I'm actually blowing up Wisconsin. So,
would you get a cheesehead tattoo on your butt, Holmes?
No, never. No. That's me getting anything Wisconsin related tattooed on my body is about as good of a chance as Wyatt ever shaving his head.
Yeah.
Never.
Joke's on you. Wyatt was over at my house like last week. He has gray hair, so he's getting close, man. It's going to start falling out pretty soon here. And on that note, guys, we are going to take our next break here on the Man Hour. So sit back and relax, rejoin as we do got Shot Talk coming up here at hour number 2 here on Man Hour. So if you want to talk about anything, let us know. I do got the chats pulled up here at youtube.com/Man Hour. So go ahead and jump over there and let us know what you want to talk about. We do got some things lined up for you, but if you guys want to talk about anything, let us know, and we'll be glad to talk about it. We'll be right back here, guys, on the Man Hour. Alrighty, boys, break.
Wait, did Javi finally come over to the YouTube side?
Yeah. Oh well, he was here last night over on YouTube, and he was over on Facebook. I'm like, hey man, come on over to the YouTube. So
how come I see Michelle commenting in the StreamYard thing, but not on the YouTube page?
You shouldn't be able to see any comments in the StreamYard thing because we're not. Oh,
yeah, on the StreamYard, Michelle
go live on it. Why'd you do that?
I thought we were supposed to.
No, I said only if I tell you to.
Oh,
it's all good.
I thought you said to push go live.
Wah, wah, wah. No, it's all good. But
what's up, Javier?
But yeah, so usually when we do this will be, so this StreamYard that we're on here will have like a behind the scenes type thing, behind the scenes, August 17th, yada yada yada.
You want me to click end on it?
No, it's fine. I mean,
okay.
we're getting double the views, right?
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. That was my plan the entire time. Double the views.
Are we though?
We're at 4.
On the other YouTube, we were at 5. Now we're down to 3. So
That's because Michelle and Javier came to this one.
Did they? Interesting. Oh. What?
Huh?
I don't care.
Huh?
What check? What
I don't
check?
care
Sonny?
either.
Just show me your boobs. That'd be cool.
You can absolutely put your finger in his butt.
Boobies.
I
Wait,
don't mind
show
it.
me your boobs too.
No. She gave
No?
me the bird.
I mean,
She
oh, you were talking to me.
Yeah, I thought you were talking to Tori too.
Oh yeah, show me your boobs, Tori. I mean, I'm down to clown.
People
'Cause
right
if
now are watching
you
this on the
want my
YouTube page and they can't hear us and they're like, "What the hell is
sexy.
going on right now?"
Like, hey, look at my daddy.
Hey, you bitches,
Oh,
show them your
Jesus.
titties.
Javier says, "Yeah, you guys was right about Tebow.
Yeah, of course we were. All right, guys, we're coming back from break.
We know we're right."
I just emailed you the video.
Okay.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes on with Tori Anderson and the Brandon Combs tonight, Mr. BC Combs. You can find us all on Twitter at manhour_Buck, manhour_Combs, of course, manhour_Tori on the old Twitter machine. You can slide into our DMs. You can ask us questions, fantasy football questions, life questions. I mean, we're probably not the best people to ask life advice about, but we'll be here. We'll try to give
Does
you.
the C stand for COVID now?
The C stand for COVID? Yeah, a man hour COVID right there. Actually, shouldn't you put the D? Because isn't it the Delta variant now or something? So, is it really COVID or is it Delta now?
I don't know.
I'm just going with Brandon got the D,
Yeah, Brandon got the D.
and he liked it.
Yeah,
BC got the D.
COVID came
So-
from the government. We all got the D.
It actually did come from a Harvard scientist in a Chinese lab. So,
Go figure.
go figure. So, guys, this is time for
Who ate a
Shot
raw
Talk.
bat?
Speaking of which, did you guys ever see that South Park pandemic special, like how coronavirus actually started?
Oh my God, I bet that is amazing.
It was it was Stan Marsh and Mickey Mouse went over to China. They got really, really stoned and
Oh man,
made love to bats. And
that is hilarious.
yeah, it is so stupid. You're like, well, maybe that really did happen.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it could have, right? I mean, it definitely could have happened.
South Park has given us some amazing moments. You remember David Caruso, the actor who was always like on what was it? It was like CSI New York or Miami or whatever.
Miami.
And always
was
every
on-
time something happened, he'd be like, "That guy is dead." And it'd be like, so they did a one time. South Park did a thing, and they had Kenny. They were trying to get him off of a bridge, and they said, "Kenny, do your impression of David Caruso's career." Okay, and he jumps off the bridge.
Absolutely love it. So Combs, as you broke the show, like you have the COVID and you had the vaccine as well. So I mean, we're not going to get too carried forward into this whole COVID vaccine talk here. But like, how do you feel? Like do you feel bad? Do you feel tired, wore out?
No, I feel fine. And it's funny because one of the things that they said is that, if you're vaccinated, if you look on the CDC website, if you're vaccinated and you're near somebody who has COVID, which right now somebody else in the house has COVID, won't get into details, but that is what caused me to go get checked. Now they say if you're fully vaccinated, you don't need to go get checked. However, for my job, I needed to go get checked because I'm constantly walking into people's homes. I'm constantly around guys at the job site. So I go get checked. I was fully expecting it to say, "Yeah, you're negative. Feel free to go back to work," and all that. And then they come in and they're like, "Hey, by the way, you're positive for COVID." And Michelle, who went with me, and she got tested as well. We sleep in the same bed, and they're like, "No, you're good. You don't have COVID."
Isn't that weird?
It's like a tornado. It decides where it's gonna go, and it hits this person, but not that. Like, I don't know.
This
but
is
no, I
something
feel
like
fine.
I feel like
I don't
eventually
feel-
every single one of us gets it.
Yeah, at some point, right?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, because they say when you get it, you build antibodies for it, and you're less likely to get it again. So, whatever.
That's what I said. My
Hopefully,
one-
I don't
my
get
one
the
friend-
symptoms. I know people have gotten the symptoms, and they're not very much fun. the mother of my younger sons, she had it. She said she's still having trouble breathing and doing things. So, like, I just, hopefully I don't have to deal with that. I'm happy that I don't have any of the symptoms. But I'm stuck in my basement for the next 10 to 14 days.
So speaking of being stuck, baseball was stuck in Iowa here last week on the Field of Dreams field. I mean, you can call it stuck, you can call it whatever you want, but
God, that was such a beautiful night for baseball.
The 2022 Field of Dreams game is going to happen. It is going to star Torrey Cincinnati Reds and your Chicago Cubs. Are you guys going to watch this game for like one? Torrey?
Yeah, I'm going to watch it. I'm hoping I'm going to be there.
Thanks, Tori.
Yeah, sorry, but I don't think it's a good game. I think that there are a lot better opportunities for it. I also have gone on record and saying they shouldn't do another Field of Dreams game right away. There's no way they're going to outdo what they did last Thursday night. You're not going to have Kevin Costner walk out there again, have the guys walk out. You might still have the guys walk out through the corn or whatever the case is, but you're not going to top that. That opening was absolutely perfect. The game, the way the game went was absolutely perfect. And I just don't understand why not capitalize on this? And like I said, go play at the Sandlot. Go play at the field where they filmed The Natural. Go play where they filmed Bull Durham. Go play, at some of these other movie sites that, are fan favorites that baseball fans love watching some of these movies. Go play there. How cool would it be to watch them play at the Sandlot and watch them have get a big dog like they had for the Beast, to stand behind the fence. And you imagine somebody going to rob a home run and then all of a sudden the dog comes through the fence or something chasing them. I would love to see something like that, where you start the game where it's Benny the Jet Rodriguez hopping the fence, and running the ball down the home plate like he was running away from the Beast or something. Like, they can capitalize on it without having to do the Field of Dreams all over again. You can have, Squints and Wendy Peppercorn there.
Or something?
Yeah, they did. And they designed it to be just like, I was going to say Comiskey Park, but Guaranteed Rate Field. They designed it to have the same dimensions because that's where the White Sox play. It was a White Sox home game. It doesn't make sense to me to not have the White Sox play in that game, though. That's what the movie was about. It was about the Black Sox scandal. Why not have the White Sox annually host the game if you're going to continue to do it every single year?
So kind of like a Thanksgiving thing where the Lions and the Cowboys always play, right?
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Exactly. I mean, they did a great thing with the uniforms. Like, they did a great, it was just such a perfect night for baseball. I just hate to see them ruin it by keeping it going. But baseball does what they do best. They don't market and they ruin shit.
Tori, what are your thoughts?
It's a great game. Thanks for asking.
Should I say Combs' thoughts?
Combs? No, I agree. That game, Major League Baseball could not have written a better script for the entrance with Costner and everything. That was absolutely perfect. The way the game ended, obviously you can't write that. And I think I'm going to agree with Brandon here. Anything from here on out is tainted.
Yeah.
Because you are not going to top that first time. You are just not. You're chasing the tail of the dragon at that point. And it would be cool to see him do some different things. They're again, like you were talking about different. I'm like, oh, I'm like, I can't do Major League. County Stadium doesn't exist anymore.
Do you think that they gave Kevin Costner the freedom to be as creative as he wanted? Do you think Kevin Costner directed that and wrote that opening, and baseball had nothing to do with it? Because that's how I feel. I feel if baseball was going to do it, the stalks would have had the players' faces on them or something. It would have been stupid, and we would have been pissed off. I think it was so good because I think they let Costner direct it. I think they let Costner write it, and I think that's why it came out to be so good because baseball kept their hands out of it.
Could be. I mean, yeah, because baseball would have been like, look, we have all the fans' faces on a piece of corn.
Yeah.
Because there's no fans in the outfield, so we just took your face and put it on a stalk of corn.
Each fan can buy a stalk of corn for $500, and we'll put your name on it.
And then you can eat it. We'll send it to you, and you can eat it after you're done.
Yeah.
I would agree. Just because Major League Baseball would have did something completely irrelevant family. And there again, I say family friendly, but it would have been like more inclusive than what it was. But there again, you don't improve on perfection, and that was literally perfection. Like I can watch that clip today and still get goosebumps watching them go through it all.
100%. That was a perfect night for Major League Baseball, and unfortunately, they're not going to capitalize on it. They're just not.
Now at this point, you're not going to capitalize. They're just trying to monetize at this point.
Yeah,
Yes.
they don't market well. They don't do anything well. It's sad.
So jumping over to the comment section here, Drew says he totally agree with you, Combs. I mean, you cannot do anything better than that whatsoever. And he also says that the White Sox do need to be in it every year. So can we start a petition and like make it so the White Sox have that game every year?
I mean, you can start one. Baseball's not going to listen to you because baseball doesn't listen. But it is though. I mean, the White Sox with the Field of Dreams game should be like the NFL. And I know Wayne G said this on Sunday. Should be like the NFL with the Lions and the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day. Like you don't go with Thanksgiving Day without the Lions and the Cowboys hosting a game, correct?
Yeah.
It should be the same thing with the Field of Dreams because that's what the movie was about. You're taken away from it if you don't like. I don't know. I feel like baseball's missing the point, but it doesn't surprise me.
But that's because the Thanksgiving game for the Lions is their Super Bowl every year.
Well, not this year when they go 10-7. So let me ask you this: let's say they happen to do Major League, right, and they have the Cleveland Indians versus the Minnesota Twins, right? We're just throwing teams out there, just because the Twins were in Major League 3, I think it was, or something like that. But like, since the Indians are no longer around, can they wear the Indians jerseys?
Yeah, who knows? That's another one that baseball missed the boat on back in 2016 when it was the Cubs and Indians in the World Series. How did you not have Charlie Sheen run out of the bullpen in Game 1 to throw the first pitch?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I mean, have him in Wild Thing, have him with the glasses, with the jean coat, have him in uniform.
He was probably all jacked up on that tiger blood still.
Yeah, but baseball just missed. They missed the boat on it. They really did. I mean, you could even have Bob Uecker come out there and do it. I mean, he was the announcer for the movie. Like, you could have done all sorts of things better than what they did. Baseball misses this type of stuff because they don't have the vision. They've got the worst, commissioner in sports history in Rob Manfred. They've got the guys.
I don't know. Giamatti was pretty bad.
No, Manfred is bad for the game. Giamatti was bad just because he did some shady shit. Manfred's bad because I'm surprised Manfred knows what a baseball is, to be honest with you.
So, Tori, let me ask you this. Let's flip this around. Let's say this is the hockey, right? And what is the hockey tournament that they play in every year? It's like the FIFA Hockey Cup or whatever, the World Cup, right? Or every 2 years.
The Hockey World Cup?
Yeah, like, so can the hockey do something just like this if it's like USA versus like the Russians or something?
Hockey does do something kind of like this. They do the outdoor series.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Where like the Blackhawks and Red Wings played like.
But see, they've tainted that too, though. Even the NHL has done a bad job with that. Now you get 5 games in the wintertime that are spread out over the course of the month of January, and you get 5 people hosting it. Now it's to the point where it's like, okay, cool. You do what me and my friends do every Saturday and Sunday night and go out to the pond and play some hockey, but you get paid millions of dollars to do so. Now I don't even like watching it.
Yeah.
So can we do it for like an NFL? I mean, because I no NFL stadium comes to mind. Means an NFL stadium is an NFL stadium, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's really nothing to do in the NFL. What iconic? What would be cool for the NFL to do? The NFL would be cool to go play at like a local park or something.
That'd be dumb.
It would be cool to watch, have people come out and stand and watch the games and just have everything there. I don't know if they'd ever be able to control something like that. But that's the only thing you could think of with the NFL. Just go out and play in a muddy park somewhere. That'd be the only thing I could think of. Other than that, I mean, the NFL's kind of got it made. They're perfect the way they are right now.
Tori, what are your thoughts?
I agree that it would be really hard to control crowds if to try to do something like that. So like Citi Field, where the Green Bay Packers played before they played at Lambeau Field, is still there, still standing, still used. So like they could try to do something, but you get bleachers that fit like 100 people. How are you going to stop thousands of people from trying to crowd around that stadium? This tiny little thing. You know, there again, for that, it would come down to a population control type thing. You don't have enough of a police force, I don't care where you are, to try to stop people from trying to get a glimpse of, oh, I can get within 20 feet of all these players because they're playing on basically a high school football stadium field.
Right.
So, I mean, actually, some high school football stadiums are probably nicer than what Citi Field is.
So let me ask you this. So, Tori, let me ask you this. You are a Packers fan. What if the Pro Bowl was played like the Frozen, the Frozen Tundra game? What is that game called? The Ice Bowl.
The Ice Bowl?
Yeah, let's say the Pro Bowl was the Ice Bowl every year.
Move it to Alaska.
Yeah.
Or Canada.
Nobody would show up. They're like, oh, I got prior commitments. You'd have like 7 guys down the line that are making the Pro Bowl because they're like, why would I want to go do that?
There's a
Like,
reason why they chose Hawaii.
Right. and then was it Orlando or Miami or wherever it is? Like the dumbest thing they ever did was like, oh, we're going to alternate between Hawaii and Florida. Well, the guys go to Florida pretty much. Not that a lot of them can't afford to go to Hawaii whenever they want, but a free trip to Hawaii is a whole lot better. Like, hey, I have a free trip for you to Florida.
What if we made him compete in a game of water polo?
No,
That would be awesome.
I prefer to
And
watch
until somebody gets Robert Edwards, and then it'd be over.
All right, guys. So speaking of winning a free trip, the Man Hour, guys, is giving away a free trip to Las Vegas for the NFL Draft in April of 2022. How do you get registered? You simply head over to youtube.com/Man Hour and hit the join button. If you become a gold member or higher, that's $5.99 a month, you get automatically entered into that drawing. And then on the flip side of that, guys, every time you comment, every time you like, every time you share something here, we get an alert like we just seen right here. Look at, like, I just shared the Facebook feed here, and bada bing, bada boom, I get another entry into the Vegas trip here. So all you gotta do, guys, is become a $5.99 member here over on youtube.com/Man Hour. Hit that join button, $5.99 a month. You also get a t-shirt, you get merchandise discounts, you get behind the scenes footage. So during the live show, when you see us kind of just like you don't hear us anything talking, it is because we're doing stuff on the backside, and you get access to that, and of course you get access to the after show as well. And I also saw a comment come across the screens that Drew is asking if we're doing an after show tonight. We're absolutely doing an after show tonight, Drew. So we will get to the after show here, guys. So we are going to take a quick little break, guys. Here on the other side of the break, we are going to talk Mr. Brandon Combs, Chicago Bears, of course, and how great Andy Dalton is. We're going to talk some Fitz magic, and year 2 of the quarterback here. So we step back, relax, guys. We'll be right back here after this short little break. All right, boys, that's that.
You know, I was thinking one thing that the NFL should do, and I don't know why they don't. I guess I get why they don't do it because of money. But the team with the best record of the 2 teams that are competing in the Super Bowl should absolutely host a Super Bowl game. We play all year in bad weather. Well, I would love to see a Super Bowl game in wherever, even if it's in Green Bay. To see a Super Bowl game in Green Bay in the snow in February would be awesome.
The reason why they don't do that is because they make it such a must see event, right? Like, you get all these celebrities going and stuff like that. Like, I mean, like, let's say you are a celebrity. Let's say you're Will Smith,
That's
right?
Stupid. But you should give the fans that are season ticket holders a chance to see their team compete in the championship game. Like, it doesn't make sense to me to sit there and be like, oh yeah, we can only play in domes or in warm weather cities. Why? You play in cold weather all damn year to decide who's going to the damn Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, I see both sides of it. You're definitely not wrong by any means. But I don't know. I mean, shit. Party naked, right?
I usually do.
Combs, how does this make you feel? The Brewers are up on the Cardinals 2-0.
Well, the Cubs are still winning against the Reds right now. So I actually hope we lose so we don't help out the Brewers.
Yeah, we actually want the Cubs to win over and over and over again, right? So Tori gets that tattoo.
I'm going to call you White, you flip-flopping son of a bitch.
What do you mean? I was voting for the Reds to get your tattoo.
Who, me?
No, Buck.
Oh.
What did
Yeah,
I?
we need-
What did I flip flop on?
No, you were all like, "Oh, I love the Brewers." Brewers.
I definitely like. I don't like. I
Just
don't hate
imagine
them
what the
by
people
any
are
means.
thinking during the break right now with you doing that.
I keep forgetting they can see us.
I think it's funny, but we're getting ready to come back from
Oh
break.
my god.
Oh man. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes along with Brandon Combs and Tori Anderson tonight. You can find us all on the old Twitter machine at manhour_hour_radio is the show Twitter handle, or you can always slide into our DMs, ask us questions. That we do have mail time each show during the banter time and shop talk time at start of hour number 2. So let's welcome the boys back onto the screen here, guys. We have talked some Trevor Bauer, we talked some Alabama, we talked some Cam Newton and the New England Patriots, but it is time to talk about the real team now, right, Combsy? It is time to talk about the best team in the NFC North. It is time to talk about Rookie of the Year. It is time to talk about the best general manager and head coach in all of NFL football, coming from the Chicago Bears, Combs. So I tooted your horn as much as I could here. But with all that being said,
I don't
Matt
even agree with half of what you said.
Matt Nagy has come out and said that Andy Dalton will be taking more snaps here in the second preseason game. So game number 1, he only took 6 snaps, and Justin Fields pretty much lit up the show. I mean, we had a poll going over there on our Facebook page, and hands down, Justin Fields, per the fans, said that, he had a better game. So let me ask you this question, Combs. No. I'm going to kick it to Tori Anderson first, because we've been talking about Chicago Bears the last few days here. So Tori Anderson, let me ask you this question. We've seen Justin Fields have a great game week 1 in the preseason, and now Andy Dalton is going to take more snaps. Do you think Justin Fields is going to start week 1 now that we're seeing more of a quarterback controversy happening in Chicago?
No, absolutely not. I think they will stick to it. They will sacrifice this season. They will let Andy Dalton play. They will let Justin Fields come in sparingly. They will put him in positions where they know he can succeed. So whether it be chances are it'll be that they'll be down by like 35 points. And they will let him go, and they will kind of let him do his thing. It's going to be a controlled environment for him. They will let him loose where they feel they can let him loose. If they sense like he's getting knocked around too much, I guarantee they yank him.
So let me ask you this question here, Tori. Let's say the Bears are down by 28 points, and Justin Fields comes in the mid-third quarter, and he throws for 3 touchdowns, and it becomes like a 10-point game. Do you kind of got to give him the start like the next week, because he did perform, and you did what you asked of him?
No, because chances are at that point, then the defense was probably playing prevent defense. They were playing soft. They were playing off. They're like, we're up by a ton. Somebody starts coming back like that, they're going to tighten things up. And now they're going to we got a rookie. We're going to start coming after him. They're going to start coming after him. He's going to start getting hit. He might get a little bit rattled. It might throw his game off. I don't think they put him in that type of position, honestly. I don't think they do it at all. Not this year. Next year, 100% that's going to be his team.
So, Mr. Brandon B.C. Combs, you have been a firm believer that Justin Fields should start week 1. Hands down, he's the best quarterback on the roster. Now that we're seeing Andy Dalton take more snaps, are you kind of leaning more toward that Justin Fields is going to start week 1, especially after hearing what Nagy had to say during his press conference after practice?
I don't think that they're lenient. I think they're going to stick to their guns. I think by week 4, at the latest, Justin Fields will be in there because I think Andy Dalton's play is just going to suggest that. You know, they wanted to see how Andy Dalton was going to respond, right? And 2 days later, he goes into practice in Chicago yesterday, and his first throw, he goes to throw an 8-yard out route. It gets returned for a pick six. Comes back out for another series, goes 3 and out. Comes back for another series, goes 3 and out. Gets back in there, tries to throw a 25-yard pass down the center of the field, gets picked off, another pick six. That's how Andy Dalton responded to what Justin Fields did on Saturday. That's how he came out and said, oh, you know what? Let me show you what I can do too. His play is going to continue to be what Andy Dalton's play has been his entire career. There is no reason why the guy who is the better option, the guy who can escape pressure better, the guy who can put the ball in better places than Andy Dalton can, the guy who can make better decisions than Andy Dalton can. What has Andy Dalton ever done? Has he ever proven he can even win a playoff game? Has he?
Well, I don't think he's ever won any playoff game by like any means, but I think that's a lot of that is coaching on his end. Marvin Lewis was a staple of mediocrity coach. He did just enough to make it to the playoffs so he wouldn't get fired.
Corey? That's a cop out.
How's that a cop out?
It's not a cop out.
Yeah.
Andy Dalton in his prime, Andy Dalton was a top 10 quarterback in this league.
No, he
Andy
was
Dalton.
not. Stop it.
Really?
Andy Dalton was never a top 10 quarterback in the NFL ever. You are the first person that has ever spouted that out of your mouth, and that just happened right now. Nobody has ever said that ever in their life. And the only reason you're saying it right now is to back up an argument that you want to have that Justin Fields shouldn't be the starter come week 1.
No, he shouldn't, because Andy Dalton is a top 15 quarterback in this league, and he has proven that he can make it to the playoffs. And what do the Bears do great? They make it to the playoffs, Combs, and they lose in the first round. What does Andy Dalton do? Get you to the playoffs and lose in the first round. Andy Dalton is a Chicago Bears quarterback, Holmes. Face it. You guys do just good enough to make it to the playoffs and screw your draft. That's just the way it is. Am I wrong?
You're wrong. And Andy Dalton's a top 15 quarterback.
First of all, Andy Dalton's not a top 15 quarterback. Andy Dalton's never been a top 10 quarterback in this league.
You're right. He is top 10 per Tory.
And the best quarterback on this roster, the best quarterback that puts you in the best position to win. And not that they're going to win many more games with him, because I still think that this schedule is really, really tough. I don't think that this team is really, really good. But the best quarterback on this team right now is Justin Fields. And he's proven it. He's proving it in practice. He's proving it in games. He's proving it everywhere you need him to prove it. There's no reason why he shouldn't start week 1. Now, I do believe that they're probably just going to go ahead and give Andy Dalton the nod because, you know what, they signed him. They promised him he was going to be the starting quarterback. But I think he's going to go out there. They're going to go 0-3. And then come the Lions week 4, Justin Fields is going to be your starting quarterback.
So, Combs, let me ask you this question. You just said the Chicago Bears are not very good, right? On the offense and probably the defensive side of the ball as well. Yes,
they're much better on the defensive side than offensive.
I agree with that, but they're definitely still not in the top half of the NFL by any means.
Yeah, they are.
Justin Fields said the game is moving slow to him because he played against a bad Miami Dolphins teams that the players that are going to be bagging groceries here next week, and then a bad average Chicago Bears defense. How can you legit realistically judge his play off of a average Chicago Bears team and a bad Miami Dolphins team? Answer me that question.
Decision making. You watch the things that he does when it comes time to make a decision. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't care if he went out and put up 0 points, as long as you watch the things that he's doing. It's just like when I watch spring training baseball. I watch, preseason football the same way. I want to see. I don't care about the score. I don't care about the numbers. I care about what I see. And what I saw on the field last Saturday. Now, don't get me wrong, he could go out this Saturday against Buffalo and get outplayed by freaking, the idiot that we sent over to Buffalo, Mitch Trubisky. And if he gets outplayed by Mitch Trubisky, I might have a different take for you next Monday. Okay. This might be a week by week case, but right now he has done everything that I thought he would do. He's shown to be everything that I thought he would be at this point. He is the best quarterback on this roster.
So,
period.
Tori, basically what I'm hearing Combs say here is Combs is basically saying that he is good now, but when he plays a good defense next week, he is going to suck and put Andy Dalton in there, right? Is that kind of what you're getting from Combs?
But don't say that he's looking good against the second string offense. He's really tearing up that second string off. All right, so if he's tearing up the second stringers, what does that tell you?
He's a second string quarterback.
He's ready to be the starter. He's ready to play against the first string. If the second string can't touch him, he's ready to be a first stringer.
Tori, talk some sense into Combs.
I'm trying to figure out the logic here. If he's tearing up the second string, he should be the starter. That's not saying he's tearing up against the first string. He's going to get
because
tore
he's not
up
given the
by
opportunity
first
yet.
string.
How do you know he wouldn't tear up the first string? How do you know he hasn't been given that opportunity? You have to take what's given to you. What do we say about NFL teams all the time? You have to beat who's in front of you. You look at their schedule, sure, they're 7-0, great, but look at who they've played. Blah, 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 blah. And then we say, well, you got to beat who's in front of you. Same thing with him. He can't do anything about the fact that he hasn't been seen against first-string players yet. He hasn't been given that opportunity.
However, different players react differently to different coaching styles. Some players need the in-your-face, you need to do this. They need the drill sergeant type mentality. Other guys may need to be coddled a little bit, like, it's okay. You'll learn from this, da-da-da-da-da. And there again, we don't know what his mindset is. And that's where I'm going to give the Chicago Bears coaching staff the benefit of the doubt on this, because they're going to be like, okay, this is the way we want to. There's a psychological profile on how to handle him somewhere within that Bears organization that they did pre-draft.
Kitty gloves.
That's why they talked to, yeah. So that's why they talked to him all, because they want to learn how to handle that player and that's how they determine too. Like, are they a character risk? Are they going to be this? Are they going to be that? Like, they determine whether or not they're going to take that player. And for all we know, maybe Justin Fields is one of those guys that needs constant support. We're like, hey man, you got this, da 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 da. This happened. This is why it happened. He needs that positive reinforcement rather than, what are you doing? Why'd you make that read? Are you stupid? Da da da. It's different players need different things at that point. And that's where it's really hard to speculate on that, because we don't know what his learning style is or his coaching style that he likes.
Combs, any thoughts on that?
I don't think it matters he's showing at every level that he is a winning quarterback. He won in high school, he won in college, and so far, in the limited time that we've been able to see him in the pros through practice and through the first preseason game, he's shown that that's no different.
Who else won in high school and college? Keith Schuler.
He can do things with this offense that Andy Dalton will never be able to do. This pocket collapses, he can take off and run. Andy Dalton cannot do that.
You're right.
He can escape pressure. He can throw on the run. He can do things that Andy Dalton can't do, that this offense is going to need a quarterback to do. Because their offensive line is not stellar.
Right. Next year, I guarantee he has it.
Okay.
I guarantee, this is I'm not disagreeing that he's not going to be a good. I think he's going to be an excellent quarterback in this league. I just don't think it's this year. It's going to be next year. I think
if you
they're
think
going
that
to bring him
so
along.
they're holding him back, even though he's the better option, is what you're saying.
Yep.
So
I agree with that.
How fast do you lose the locker room as a head coach if the best player on the field is not playing?
It depends. Do you look at Matt Nagy? It doesn't
depend.
If you look at Matt Nagy, if Matt Nagy is considered or being looked at as potentially as a placeholder head coach, there's absolutely a thing as placeholder head coaches. If they know they're probably not going to proceed with him this year, they won't care. If they're like, you know what, we're going to move in a different direction no matter what.
But the players care.
I agree. Look at the Jets.
Well, so Combs, if Matt Nagy were to lose that locker room and he's a placeholder head coach, he won't be there next year. So what does it matter?
Right. they'll bring somebody in and say, hey, this is a real player's coach. They will regain that locker room.
Yeah, they'll bring in Adam Gase.
Because guess what? Adam Gase again for Adam Gase part 2.
I would sell all of my Bears gear.
But the thing is for them, they're like, you know what? We can get another top 10 pick out of this, and maybe we can get another weapon for Mr. Fields, or we could get him an offensive lineman or something like that. They're still going to run it like an organization. If they know that they are not going to be that good, why would you risk your future for 1 year? Look at Robert Griffin. Robert Griffin had his career in front of him, had a phenomenal rookie year. The playoffs blew his knee out, and his career was basically over.
All right, guys. So
you can't do that with. You can't play on the what if he gets injured? Well, what if he get? Okay, so what if he gets injured next year in the first game of next year? I mean, if you keep playing the what if game, you got to keep playing the what if. Like what? How long are you going to wrap them in bubble wrap?
It's not a what if game. It's a protecting your investment game.
Okay.
I do agree with Tori on this one. If there's any chance that your starting quarterback now and your rookie quarterback will produce the same, protect your investment for years to come.
I've agreed with people and been wrong too. So I mean, cool.
All right, so moving on here to the next topic here, we are going to talk year 2 quarterbacks going into the NFL. We're talking about players like Joe Burrows and people just like that. So I'm going to kick it to Mr. Tori Anderson first here. So Tori, out of the rookie quarterbacks from last year, jumping into year 2 in the 2021 season here, what year 2 quarterback is going to make the biggest jump in your eyes this season?
I really want to say Justin Herbert, but there is literally almost no way for him to replicate what he did last year.
Very
like
true.
There is no place to go but either plateau or down for him. Like no matter what, that kid's going to get railroaded this year unless he comes out and like wings 50 touchdowns. So I'm going to stay away from Justin Herbert because, one, he would be the really obvious answer. I would think it's going to be Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's had a year in that offense now. He couldn't play because he hurt his knee. So he had nothing but time to dig into that playbook, really get into the X's and the O's and the intricacies of that offense. I'm going to say it's going to be Joe Burrow this year. And like Brandon was saying before, he thinks the Jets might sneak a couple more wins out and like might be a surprise team. I think that could be the Cincinnati Bengals this year. They still have a pretty good defense. And the offense is the real big thing. That's the big question mark for them. So I think it's going to be Joe Burrow this year. And I think he starts to play up to that number Bengals, 1. Though. I do.
Really?
It's the Bengals.
I know, but the way Burrows was playing last year, I think it's going to be hard to sleep on him.
But as far as jump wise, though, he's going to be way more consistent this year. It's like I said, just kind of looking at the rookie quarterback crop from last year and then this year, like he has the most potential to make the most significant impact and jump this year in my eyes.
And they added more offensive weapons around him that he played with in college as well. So I mean, two big factors there, and obviously like another year in the offense. So Combs, I'm going to kick it over to you next. What quarterback in your eyes going into year 2 is going to have the biggest jump this year?
I think it's going to be Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert is going to lead the Chargers to a playoff berth. I think that Justin Herbert is the real deal. But I don't know if that's a big jump though. Is it? Is that a big jump? Like it's a big jump for. So
that's what's really hard because he was so phenomenal last year.
So maybe I go with Tua then because I think Tua is going to make a huge jump. I think Tua is going to lead a really good Dolphins team and going to surprise a lot of teams in the East, and they may even contend for that division title.
So are you going with Tua then, like on your biggest?
Yeah, I'll go with Tua, biggest jump, because I think, even though I think Herbert's going to go further, I think Tua maybe makes the biggest jump.
So just so we clarify here, so Tori, when you say the biggest jump, are you looking at stats, wins, overall eye test? What are you exactly looking at when you say overall?
I'm looking at overall progression as a quarterback as a whole.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say the same thing.
Yeah, I'm not looking at their win totals and stuff like that because there's stuff that's going to be in there that's outside of their control.
Right.
Like I'm looking at, is he making better decisions? Is he making, the decisions that he made wrong last year? Is he still making those same mistakes? Is he cutting down on those mistakes? What is he doing to progress himself to make him an upper echelon quarterback in the league? The stats will come when they start doing that stuff, no matter what.
So, just give us a little sneak peek into some fantasy thoughts here that like you have rolling through your head always here. Is there a quarterback here that you are going to buy going into year 2 100%?
Justin, at that point, yeah, you're taking Justin Herbert 100%. Justin Herbert is probably going to be a top 10 quarterback this year. He has all the weapons in the world around him in that offense with the Chargers. They are a prime candidate to maybe give the Chiefs a run for their money in that division this year. Like, I still say that AFC West is probably the toughest division in all of football. If the Broncos had a quarterback, that division would be a crapshoot.
Yeah, well, they will have a quarterback in the name of Deshaun Watson coming forward.
Oh.
Do you think Deshaun Watson makes the Denver Broncos a contender in that division?
If he were to be traded to Denver, yes. But all we're doing is recycling stuff at this point. Aaron Rodgers is going to Denver. Deshaun Watson's going to Denver. All we're doing is recycling quarterback names that might get moved. Next, in 2 weeks from now, it'll be Jimmy Garoppolo's going to be in Denver because Trey Lance looked amazing in week 1 of the preseason.
All right, so speaking of recycling quarterbacks' names here, Ryan Fitzpatrick has recycled through the NFL over and over and over. What? Eight or nine different teams in his NFL career. He clearly is a guy in Washington right now for the football team. But the historic of Fitzpatrick, seasons is he has 3 or 4 great games and then he'll have 5 horrible games. So Brandon, if Ryan Fitzpatrick has a bad stretch of games, do you pull him if you're the Washington football head coach?
Who's the backup?
Heinicke, and then you
Taylor
have
Heinicke.
And then you have the guy from the Carolina a couple years ago. What's his name, Tori?
So no. No, I do not. I let Fitzmagic go. I
Kyle
let
Allen.
Fitzmagic have the season. Maybe if you get to week 12 and things aren't looking your way, maybe you see what you have in Heinicke. But you don't, you're going to give Fitzmagic every opportunity to succeed. So, yeah, I mean, again, week 12, if you're sitting at 3-9 or 4-8, sure, maybe you bring in Heinicke and see what you got for the last 5 weeks of the season, 6 weeks of the season. You do what you got to do at that point, but I think until then, I think the first 12 weeks are probably Fitzmagic's.
Yeah, and I feel like if they are that bad, Tori's going to probably jump off the bridge because he has the Washington football game going 13-4 this season. So Tori, how short of leash does Ryan Fitzpatrick have in Washington?
I really don't think he has a leash at all. I think they just kind of let him run. I think no matter what, they're going to ride or die with him this year. This is a solid football team that has a lot more weapons on that offense than people think. Fitzmagic is a game manager. That's what he does. He's not going to whip it. He's not going to make the 80-yard bomb down the field. Like, he's going to do a 25-yard slant or a 20-yard slant and let his receiver do all the work. Like, that's.
But is he a glorified Nick Foles? Is he better as a backup than he is as a starter?
I think so.
I think so. I mean, he's made a career off of it.
So is he going to do what Nick Foles does when you say, hey, you're the starter, and then just completely poop all over himself?
And win a Super Bowl?
No,
Nick
he didn't
Foles
do
came in as
that
a
when he was a
backup to
starter.
win
He
the
came
Super
in as a
Bowl.
backup to win the Super Bowl.
Right.
When they named him a starter in Chicago, and they said, hey, here's your last year, all of a sudden he pooped all over himself. He went 2-5.
Yeah, but that
Also
wasn't a
on a
very
bad
good
spot.
Bears team.
Yeah.
It was a pretty horrible Bears team to be on.
They were 3-0 when he took over, and he led a comeback in his game that he took over.
So
Doesn't matter.
here's a deal with Ryan Fitzpatrick. You guys keep saying that he is a game manager, but I see extreme greatness or extreme horribleness. Yes, I just made up a brand new word.
Horribleness?
Horribleness.
Horribleism.
We need a T-shirt that says horrible. Hashtag horribleism.
Look what he did in Tampa Bay a couple years ago when he went in for Jameson for those 3 or 4 games. What he threw for like 400 plus yards and had like 5 touchdowns, lightened the scoreboard up, and then game 5 and 6, he threw for 120 yards for like 5 interceptions. Something astronomically ridiculous, absolutely Horbanism, right? So I am really kind of concerned of like how he is going to transpire in that as Combs messes up our feed there. He likes to decide to kick out like all of a sudden.
The Rona got him. The Rona took him down.
So, Tori, we are going to continue to talk here while I screen capture this real quick. So, with all that being said, don't you think we have to have a short leash on him so we don't have the Horbanisms?
No, because Ron Rivera, the way Ron Rivera coaches and the way his game plan is, it's not going to set him up to fail. It's going to only set him up to succeed. I don't think that we see Fitzmagic get pulled at all this year. Like I said, he's going to be a game. He's not going to do anything magical deep down the field. It's going to be 5, 10, 15 yard, outs, slants, you name it. You're not going to have anybody burning down the sideline trying to beat the corner and the safety, and Fitz is going to hit him 50 yards down the field. It's just not going to happen. That's not his game. That's not the way Ron Rivera coaches either. I mean, look what he did with Cam. He made Cam an MVP.
Right.
And Cam wasn't wheeling it down the field.
So are you saying that Ron Rivera could make Ryan Fitzpatrick MVP caliber?
It could happen. I have him going 13-4, so yes. I'm going saying yes.
So are we saying right here on the Man Hour that Ryan Fitzpatrick will be MVP caliber throughout the season? I'm not saying he will win the MVP, but he'll be in the MVP conversation.
Yes.
Let's say he wins the MVP. Does he retire?
I would, as a career backup, win the MVP, go out. I mean, yep, I'm out. See ya.
Yeah, I am out.
He'd be the first ever MVP to retire after the season. After Rodgers. Oh wait, Rodgers didn't retire.
Oh wait, he also was going to be the first MVP to get traded, right, or something?
Right.
Yeah, we saw where that went. But guys, we are going to take our next break here on the Man Hour. We are going to end the show with some shop talk. So if you guys want to talk about anything, let us know, and we'll talk about it. So, Tori, we got one more break. So sit back, relax, and enjoy, man. We'll be right back. Oh, Combsy. Now my screen's all messed up. Sheesh.
His machine got the Rona.
Yeah, he's getting tired, I think.
Yeah.
He probably jumped ship.
No, he's messaged us. He said his computer randomly shut off.
Oh, updates probably.
He's like, computer decided to shut itself off. Give me a minute. That's what I did before we came on, was I had to update my computer. Oh, bet you wish you had that kind of fat stacks in your wallet. I have $6.
Hell yeah. You more than I got. I'm not gonna lie there. Oh man. Xavier said Fritz is like a roller coaster, up and down. Yeah, exactly. Ugh. We'll have to bring up this comment from Drew. He says, you know who I thought really did well last weekend? Ehlinger. Sam Ehlinger. Hell no. Sam Ehlinger? Come on, man. Come on, man.
Come on,
man.
My bad, boys.
Man. It's all good, brother.
Computer decided, hey, fuck you. I'm going to run an update anyway.
Well,
no, we just figured the Rona got your computer too.
lucky for you, Combs, that I can do stuff on the fly and yeah, you fucked up all my crops, but whatever. Like it is what it is.
What happened after I went off?
So you saw half of my face. You saw Tori's chest. So I had to screen capture it real quick, and we were basically just on the fly. So it's
gotcha.
Shit happens when you party naked. But we're just going to
Yeah.
do some shop talk to end the show. The
All
last
right.
10 minutes.
Sweet.
Do one of you guys want to jump on StreamYard and make an after show real quick and just stream it?
You
to
never
YouTube?
started the break, guys. We can all hear you. What?
Because Drew, you are in the other thing. I don't know why you left this one, but all right, guys, we're coming back from break. Are you ready?
No.
Yes.
Oh, wrong one. Which one do I push? Oh, which one do I push? Oh my god, I'm so confused.
Push the button. Push the button.
Welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckheister along with Tori Anderson and Mr. Brandon BC Combs, as Combs left us mid-talk there. But, guys, we are going to end the show with some shop talk. And with all that being said, guys, we've had a pretty good show. I mean, we made up a new word. We found out Combs has Rona, even though he has the vaccine. Tori, we haven't found anything about you yet. Did you see a tornado when you were in Kansas?
I did not. We had some pretty impressive storms while I was there, but no tornadoes. I was a little disappointed. I was looking for Dorothy. I was looking for Toto.
Yeah.
Didn't see any of them.
Usually go there about June. We have plenty of tornadoes come rolling through June here. But on the behind the scenes footage here, Mr. Drew brought up a little thing here, and he says that he was really impressed with Sam Ehlinger last week. Do you guys think Sam Ehlinger is even going to make it in the NFL?
That's a tough one, man.
I'm gonna go ahead, BC.
I don't think that he does. I don't think he I don't know. I just feel
He's
like
in a bad situation.
Yeah, I feel like he's what's his face there? What's the other guy who's gotten a raw deal? Started
Josh
out with
Rosen.
Josh Rosen. Like, I feel like he's another Josh Rosen. I just feel like he's just never going to get a chance because he's always going to find himself on teams that really don't need a starting quarterback.
Yeah. Well, the difference between Sam Ehlinger and Josh Rosen is Josh Rosen was a first round pick, right? And the only reason why he got traded away from the Cardinals was because Cliff Kingsbury wanted Kyler, which is, I mean, looking now, hindsight, it's not a bad thing. But then, like, hey, you giving up a first round quarterback for another first round quarterback? That makes zero sense, right? But
yeah.
Tori, do you think Sam is ever going to get a chance in the NFL, like a true chance, besides a
No.
career backup, maybe?
No. I think he's going to be that guy that bounces around the league for maybe 2 or 3 years, never really does a whole lot of anything. Maybe he might looks like the preseason MVP, maybe, and then but just is always like the third string guy, like the guy that makes the team, maybe, but never suits up for them ever. So,
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, what does it matter if you hit 3 years in the league? You got your pension, so.
Right. Well, it's 4 years, isn't it? It's 4 years in the league.
Is it 4?
I think
can't
it's
remember
4.
if it's 3 or 4.
But you know who he reminds me of a lot is Colt McCoy. Did you guys know that Colt McCoy is still in the league? He's a backup for the Arizona Cardinals now. So Colt McCoy's been on 5 or 6 teams as a backup, and he just making a living, going team to team, getting $2 million here, $5 million here.
Here's a better question for you: Is Carson Wentz destined to always play on teams where the backups are always going to be talked about as are they better than him? Because that's what
Because
he
they
had
are.
in Philadelphia. That's what he's going to have here in Indianapolis.
So who do you think is better than Carson Wentz on the roster? Do you think Jacob Easton or Sam Ehlinger is better than Carson Wentz?
Eason.
I think Jacob Eason is a better option right now than Carson
Even
Wentz.
though, so Jacob
And I
Easton
think
had
Ehlinger
that same
could
exact
be.
drive that you had with Andy Dalton. He threw a pick 6 and a bad 3 drives and another pick 6.
Yeah,
That was Jacob Easton's.
But he stayed healthy, so that's the big thing.
yeah,
He didn't get hurt.
yeah.
So
Oh, Javier just jinxed it. Javier, come
Way to go,
on,
Javi.
buddy. Come on, buddy.
all right, so
Oh, they're gonna blow it
So
in the night.
Javier and Drew, you guys are actually on the behind the scenes thing. So Combs wasn't supposed to push play on this. So Combs
sorry.
did play. So like I saw Drew say, you guys never went to break. We did go to break. We went to break on the main show. This is the after hours, or this is the behind the scenes footage. So how you get access to the behind the scenes footage is you have to become a member of $2.99 or higher, and you get behind the scenes footage here on the Man Hour. And you get to when we go to
so
break.
what I did here, Buck, is what you're saying is what I did here was I gave people a reason to become a member. So that they can see this on a daily basis.
You are thinking
That's
better than Major League Baseball right now.
That was my plan the whole time.
That was your plan the whole time.
That was my plan the whole time. When I accidentally hit go live, that was my plan the whole time.
That was your plan.
All I could think of is Combs was going to start singing a Hoobastank song.
What song are you thinking of?
The Reason.
The-
The song's called The Reason.
I'm not
Yeah.
for sure what this song is. Can you go ahead and sing it for us, Tori?
No.
Oh God, please don't.
Please?
Wait, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I'm so confused right now.
I mean, we can get demonetized and just play it.
Do it. I can't do that right now. Sorry. All right, guys, we're going to start the after show, guys. It has been a great show. If you are a member here over on youtube.com/Man Hour, simply head over to the after show footage right now, and we will start that stream. I just created it. I'm going to end this, and then we're going to start the after show, guys. Are you ready to start the after show?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let me go ahead and end this.
Can I do it from bed?
Sure. Actually, you can just go to bed. It's all
What you're
good.
saying is you want to take us to bed with you?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Combs.
Oh,
send
I'm
us
in.
out.
Man Hour
No, you
Nation,
got the.
rise up.
What were you saying, Tori?
I was just like, no, he's got the Rona.
He's got the Rona. But you
Not for
seriously,
14
My
days.
Sharona.
you can go to bed. It's all good, man.
I'll stay up for a little bit. I can stay up for 8 more minutes.
Okay.
I'm
we got,
I'm dragging ass from yesterday and getting home late.
yeah, I feel you, man. So I'm tearing wallpaper off of my house still. So if you guys didn't know, I have wallpaper on every wall in my house except for one. And the first 4 bedrooms came off just fine. But our master bedroom, River's bedroom, and our living room is being a fucking bitch. And it is like I've taken an iron to it. I've done the whole like I went to Home Depot and I got the glue remover shit. It is painful right now.
So how many layers did the guy that had the house before you put up like 2 weeks before he sold you the house?
So
There was only 1 layer there. He put up 3 layers in like the last couple months.
so far every room has only had 1 layer except for the kitchen. The kitchen had 3 and they're all textured. So
When I bought my house in Vermont, we had wallpaper on there, and there was, I shit you not, 7 layers of wallpaper, and each one that you took off was easily worse than the one prior to it. It was just like the designs on it were just at the point where I got to the final layer, it was just a bunch of little what do they call those silos with cows and horses on it.
sheesh, man, that is absolutely
It was
ridiculous.
horrible.
Do people actually use wallpaper anymore?
I
Now
don't.
Now
my
they
mom
kind of
put
use it
some in
for
her house.
accent. Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
people use it for accents now. You know, if you're gonna put up like a little accent wall, or if you're gonna do like half and half. But
Yeah.
Why not
Very
just don't
rarely.
be cheap? Just don't be cheap. Just put tile in there for it.
On the wall? Oh, you gonna put tile on the wall?
as a builder, I'm okay with that.
For accents, just
So-
build it
Hell
like
yeah.
it's a splash wall.
So we are we're having our wall professionally, or our house professionally professionally painted, and a guy said that you paint 3 walls one color and then the other wall you go 3 shades darker.
Yeah, it's
for
your
like
accent wall.
Yeah, your
but-
accent wall.
Yeah, but why do Drew says it's easier just to paint over the wallpaper? It is if the wallpaper wasn't textured. 100%.
Yeah.
Right. It's textured. It's textured wallpaper, so the paint job would look shitty. I was actually thinking of Comb just buying 16th inch sheetrock and just sheetrocking over it.
You
honestly.
could.
Like,
I mean,
like, to
capping
the
it
point
might
where
be
I
the
just
way
wanna
to
do
go.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
built-in insulation.
Yeah.
Well, I figured it out. Like it would take like 30 square foot off of our house, so that would put us under the 2,500 mark. So like I don't know if I want to do that or not.
Or you could just tear out the entire wall
Fuck
instead
you.
of just worrying about the wallpaper.
Then I am like in
Power
some type
wash.
of. Oh my god.
Oh, just bring the power washer in. Be like, River, come here. Let her rip, buddy.
That's a great idea. I mean, we got tiles and like in the kitchen. Why not? Right? Just go at it.
Right.
Yeah, just go ahead,
So-
go for it, buddy.
River can cause some destruction, so might as well just let him go at it.
Oh, hey, big news, guys. He's keeping his pants on now. I'm really excited about that. He has not had his pants on since we stayed in the hotel. So I don't know if it was just our old house or what, but
Since he pooped in the pool.
oh, he never pooped in the pool. Never pooped.
I
In the
thought
pool.
you said one of the kids pooped in the pool.
That came out of Tripp's ass.
Oh.
Ah,
That came out of Tripp's ass. It was quite disgusting. Not gonna lie. It was a White Castle green shit. It was one of those gross.
you know
ones,
what? You know what? I wonder what you could do when they're like they can't get out of the naked stage. I wonder if you just say fuck it too when they take off their clothes. You take off your clothes and start walking around. I wonder if they'll be like, yeah, I might not do this ever again.
So
Like I
River's-
told Aubrey.
River, I think River would try to rip your junk off. I think River would be like, "What's that, Rick?"
he is at that stage where he's grabbing Sandy. Yeah.
I told Aubrey, I said if she likes to wear them shorts, she's 13, she's a female and she likes to wear them shorts where her ass hangs out. I said if I see you wearing those shorts one more time, I promise you, when you leave to go walk with your friends, I'm going to put on a pair of the same shorts and I'm going to walk with you to the park.
And here's the problem with like Aubrey Combs is she is not an ugly girl either. You know, she
No,
is a beautiful girl.
she's a beautiful
And-
little 13-year-old girl, and
just-
I'm going to end up killing a kid at some point.
Oh, I give you 3 years. 3 years tops. I already got the best lawyers on retainer, so you'll be good to go.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah, but yeah.
That's
so
what you just call us. We're like, so they can't trace it back.
No, that's true.
I know a guy. If you know.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
That guy named Nine Toes. He shot one off when he was cleaning his gun before he killed a man.
I just
movie
tell
is that off
the
of?
boys when they come over, be like, just so you know, if you're good to her, I'll help you hide a body. But if you hurt her, just remember I know how to hide a body.
That's a good point there. That's a great point. This is why I'm glad I have boys because I don't have to
That's where you say,
child support.
do you know what a pig trough can do? It can make it so your mama never knows where you are.
Wow, this has got dark.
What was the one in Tommy Boy? Was it Tommy Boy or was it Black? What was the one where he falls in love with the girl and she they're in the boat and she stands up?
That's
She goes, I
Tommy
swear
Boy.
to God, I know
Tommy
where you
Boy.
live and I've seen where you sleep and your mother and father will weep when they see what I've done to you. And he's just looking at her and he's like, oh.
Yeah, that's the end of Tommy Boy when he's trying to get wind in the sail.
Yeah. Oh, I love that movie.
You guys been watching too much Discovery ID with Cindy, I think.
I haven't seen Farley in anything lately. What happened?
He died
I know.
30
Jeez.
years ago.
It's not been that long, has it?
No, it's 20. I think it's 25.
Really?
He died in the 90s.
Late 90s. Yeah, late 90s he died. It was
yeah.
like 90. It was like 90, maybe it was 98 or 99. I can't remember. Alexa,
Bruce says he has training in climb.
when did
shades.
Chris Farley die?
Chris Farley died on December 18th, 1997 at the age
Yeah.
of
Wow.
32 years due to accidental opiate/cocaine intoxication.
Okay,
Alexa,
don't
stop.
need everything.
Alexa, stop.
Alexa, stop.
He had cocaine, ecstasy, weed, Xanax. he also had a fifth of liquor.
Oh
Give
my
us a
God.
lesson here.
Oh man. Alrighty, boys.
Alexa, stop for the love of God. Hey, guys, the
Yeah.
Cubs have won a ball game.
I think I got an applause here, Combs. Here,
We
1 second.
we
Yeah, here
we
go.
ended what was it, 12 or 13 game skid?
And just to start another 12 games did.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty
All
much.
right, boys. It is time to wrap it up. We all got to go to work tomorrow. I got to get some more wallpaper off this wall and get up at 4 o'clock and go to work. So
Alrighty.
I'll be
You
an
have
hour
fun,
behind
sir.
you. I got to get up at 5.
yeah. And I need to go check on my safety too.
I get
think
to sleep in
towards
because I'm
ACL
working from
practice.
home.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
in the-
on the wrong end of that, I have COVID. So,
So
I mean, if
are
you want to
on
get COVID,
10-day
you could
quarant-
stay home too.
I mean, since technically you got your vaccine, right? Like, do you have to
Yeah.
be quarantined for 14 days, or is it 10 days, or
10.
10 days?
10
Because
days, and then I
here,
can get retested.
funny thing is here, if you have your vaccine and you test positive for it, the only thing you got to do is wear a mask now and be 3 feet away from people.
Yeah, that's really what it says here
That-
too. But
That makes sense, doesn't it?
you know, I've got older people, and Michelle tested. She took her mom and Aubrey to go get tested while we were on the show. Her mom tested positive too. So now there's 3 of us in the house that have tested positive. So, and 2 that tested negative. I just don't understand how it works. But
So I ended the show here. So heart to heart here, are you worried about her parents being older and
I'm worried about her dad.
yeah?
Her mom doesn't have any symptoms either. She's like me. She doesn't have any
Okay.
symptoms.
Do they got their vaccines or no?
Yeah, we all got vaccinated so that, you know, it's funny because we all got vaccinated so that we, you know, wouldn't have to worry about her dad because her dad never leaves the fucking house.
Right.
And then he gets it, and now 2 of us have it, and we're asymptomatic, and I don't know, man.
None of that makes sense to me. Like I don't
No, it's
But
weird.
you're right. It's just like a tornado.
You know
hits
what's
here,
funny
hits
though?
there,
Like,
and-
it makes you stop and think, right? Because the flu kills what 20,000, 30,000 Americans every year, right?
I'm not, I
How
didn't answer
many
that question.
times when somebody in your house has the flu have you ever said, you know what, you need to quarantine and go in your room for 10 days? Stay the fuck away from me.
every time.
But
You
see,
do
we
that
don't
every
like. I mean, you don't do that though. Like, if my kids get the flu, I'm taking care of them. I'm cleaning up when they puke, when they shit. Like, you know, same thing with you know, Michelle. If she gets the flu, like I'll make her soup. I'll get her the things that she needs. But then COVID comes around, and people are like, "Oh no, yeah, hold up."
No, so because I had type 1 influenza about 12 years ago, and I went to the doctor, and she was like, "Well, you got the flu," and then she did the test, and then like the look of sheer horror on her face when it came back that I had type 1 influenza, she's like, "You are so contagious right now. You need to, when we get you out of here, we need you to go home and quarantine." They blocked me in a room by myself because I was so dehydrated. They wanted to get an IV in me before they would let me go. They locked me in a room by myself, and my doctor's like, "I'm probably gonna have to take off